Maduro breaks the silence and calls on an international bloc to against the threat in the East. Did you know that a simple statement can change the tone of relations between global powers? Today, a speech by a Latin American president stirred up diplomatic circles and reignited sensitive discussions in the Middle East. Stay tuned until the end, because we will reveal how an unexpected appeal from Venezuela can influence international alliances, and what this has to do with China, Russia, and you. This week, Venezuelan President Nicolás Maduro gave a speech that resonated in several embassies around the world. In his speech, he requested direct support from countries such as China, Russia, Turkey, and Islamic nations for Iran, at a time when tension in the Middle East region is taking on new dimensions. According to Maduro, there is a risk of international escalation and, to avoid it, diplomatic involvement from strategic powers would be necessary. Without directly naming those involved in the recent clashes, the president stressed that only firm and balanced mediation can contain the advance of actions that, in his words, would be potentially catastrophic. Venezuela has historical relations with Iran and consolidated ties with China and Russia. Over the past few years, these ties have been strengthened through economic agreements, technology exchange, and cooperation in strategic sectors such as energy and defense. This appeal, therefore, in addition to being symbolic, represents a clear attempt to strengthen Venezuela's role in the field of international diplomacy. Analysts believe that Maduro is seeking to position himself as an influential agent within the global South, proposing alternative alliances to the major Western powers. In his speech, Maduro directly mentioned leaders from China and Russia as figures who, according to him, would have the legitimacy to lead a negotiated solution. He stressed that the moment demands political courage and a vision of the future on the part of emerging powers. Experts warn that this move could have both diplomatic and economic consequences, especially if there is a public response of support from these nations. The Venezuelan president's speech also raises questions about the role of Latin American countries in crises of global scope. Historically more distant from disputes of this nature, Latin America is beginning to have its leaders more directly involved in regional and international influence blocs. Although there is still no formal response from the countries mentioned, there is an expectation that the appeal will generate discrete movements behind the scenes in multilateral circles, especially in BRICS and in forums such as the G77. This new stance by Venezuela marks another chapter in the global geopolitical realignment. Maduro seeks to increase his international relevance amid the transition to an increasingly multipolar world. And if you've made it this far, we've prepared some special content. In the first pinned comment, you'll find an interactive map of Venezuela's strategic alliances with countries in the Middle East and Asia. Subscribe to the channel, activate the notification bell, and follow our next videos to continue understanding the movements that shape the world of tomorrow.